Hello, beautiful artist. Today I wanted to play with something really fun I got. I love making color swatches, and for several months now I've been looking at, it's just intrigued me, this color block that I saw on, I don't know where I saw it actually, I think Instagram, and it's made by Sarah Renee Clark. I bought these. She doesn't have a clue who I am, but they just kind of fascinated me. So I went ahead and I splurged. I'll tell you, they weren't cheap, but I'm hoping they're going to be helpful and inspiring. There's actually two of them. I got Color Cube Volume 1 and Color Cube Volume 2. And let me show you. Some of you may already be familiar with this. So I'm going to play with these today and make something kind of fun here. So it's all these cards, and they give you, let me pull one out here. They're kind of tight because they're brand new. So this one, they give you on one side, and they're all numbered, by the way, so you can keep them in order. She shows you a picture using this color palette, and then she gives you all the names of the colors with the hex codes. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, obviously, if you're a designer, interior design, or something like that, the hex codes would be used. I also use hex codes for, my website and things like that. But I'm just going to try to match the colors. I just really wanted some inspiration for different color palettes. So let's take a few more out here so you can kind of see. So here's one, kind of fall type colors. That's kind of cool. And then on the back are the colors, hex codes, and names. So the whole, look at that one. That one's kind of pretty. Here's another one with a little bit more muted colors. And then on the back, ooh, look at that one. That one's really rich and pretty. So I'm going to be looking through here. Of course, there's my colors. Love those colors. Light pinks, magenta. Yep, that's me. That's very pretty. So I'm hoping these will be really inspiring for me. So now I've already mixed these up. Can you believe it? Oh, goodness. So I think that went there. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to go through these and fix them already. See what I do? All right, well, I'll figure those out. I'm actually gonna set those to the side so I don't mix them up any further. Okay, so Color Cube by Sarah Renee Clark. I'll find my link. I have to go back in my purchases. I don't know if these are available on Amazon, but I'll check for you. So today I'm going to be playing with just a fun little abstract, and I'm going to try and use these colors here. They just happen to catch my eye on the box. So I'm going to play with these colors here. And then the other thing is, as you know, I use the MeiLiang Palette a lot, and I hadn't brought this one out in a little while. It's the exact same as the MeiLiang, this green palette or blue. Oh, it's in my travel bag. But it has these really pretty metallics here. So I'm going to go ahead and just give them a light spritz, get them kind of activated and soft. I'll put those to the side. I'm going to be using my brush line that hopefully is coming out in August. I'm using my 8 round. Use any 8 round brush you have. Remembering, those Degatos. I still use those a lot, and they're perfect for the beginner because you get a whole set for like maybe $11 or something. And I'm still using these. I've been using them for a year and a half. Love them. If you're a beginner and you don't want to go out and spend $8 per brush for a Princeton or something more expensive, those are great to start with. But I hope to be coming out with my brushes. Look at that hot pink, you guys. Gorgeous, right? And you guys, really helped me in designing the packaging. So I'll put the link for those. Depending on interest is when they'll be released, hopefully this summer. So I'll put the link if you want to go take a peek at them and then be notified when they come out. You can do that. Okay, so these are the colors. I already messed up the lid too. Let's see here, or maybe not. I thought maybe the lid would have these colors. Okay. I'm going to practice some of the colors on, this is my Artisto. Oh, look at those clouds. Kind of forgot I did this. Isn't that fun? That's why these books are so valuable. They can really be inspiring. So this was my spring book. Artisto's great for the beginner. You get 3 of them for like $22. And they're really lovely for a beginner. They take a lot of water. They're nice and textury. You can organize them and refer back to them. I just love them. All right, so let's get started. I've also got my Meeden here, my water. Make sure you have a wash and a rinse so you can be rinsing your brush out. And I've got my paper towel here. All right, let's see if we can get some of these colors. I think I'm going to start with, and I have my little swatch here of my MeiLiang palette. So I'm kind of trying to match those colors. I think I'm going to start with like this cad yellow. And let's see, they call this one orange yellow. So I think I'll play with those. Let's just get those here. Just so I know what colors I want to use. Get that cad yellow. I really need to fill up my MeiLiang palette here. I use it so much. So there's the cad yellow, which is a little bit warmer than lemon yellow. And let's see, what other colors should I get? I want to get some pinky tones in there. Let's do... I'm going to try my cad orange. Nope, I'm going to go to cad red. So that one's pretty. It's pretty warm. Cads are usually a little bit warmer. But I want to get it a little bit cooler, over to the cooler side. Although it is summer, so a warm palette would be nice. But I want to get some of those kind of warm pinks. Let's see about, let's just mix some colors here. So here's a deep magenta. That's quite pretty. Let's get another red here, maybe. Let's see, this would be their magenta. That's pretty. That's a little bit, I think, redder. This has a little bit more pink in it. And I really wanted to get some type of green in there, I think because of summer. Let's see, let's try a couple different greens. So here's our sap green, which is really pretty, but not sure if I want that with the color palette. I feel like I want a little deeper green. So there's their olive green. Let's see, what else would be a pretty color? Maybe let's go for like a Prussian blue. That might be pretty. I always like Prussian blue. I think it's such a beautiful color. So I don't want to get too fallish. I want to stay like kind of in these summery, sunflower-ish type of colors. Let's put one kind of warm yellow. I'm going to try not yellow ochre, but yellow sienna. So sometimes when I want more of a warm yellow, this is the color I'll go to. And that's yellow sienna, so that's really pretty too. I like that. Okay, let's play with those colors. I'm going to put this just away as a reference here. And then what I'm working on, I love these pads. I like working on blocks because it's just kind of contained and I don't have to worry about taping my page down or anything like that. And what we're going to do is kind of an abstract here. Or what I'm going to do is kind of an abstract here. So let's start with, I think I'll start with, I'm really pulled to that yellow sienna. So I'm going to go ahead, let me get my palette here, or my, I've got a Meeden palette here. And I think I'll use that. I like this one because it's kind of small. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to totally go freehand here and just create some shapes. I want to work with some blocks. This would be really pretty though, actually, with circles or whatever shapes you want to do. And look, you know, when I designed this brush, you guys, I wanted to be able to get that round, thicker, broader line, but I love the point on these brush. That's really what drew me to it. And then I'm just going to tap in on the edge here because I can get a very fine point. So there we go. I really like that color. Then I think I'm going to go into, I'm going to get a little crazy here and just play. So how about if we go into that cad orange, or you know what, I think this is actually the orange yellow, and I want to water it down. And let's just put that, how about if we put that, I'm actually going to touch into that one and make a little rectangle. I want it, this is such a great practice for evening too, if you're wanting to maybe practice washes. There we go. I'm gonna rinse my brush a bit and just, because I want some interest here. I don't want it all to be just a flat wash, and then I'll just tap in a bit to the edges. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that so sunflowerish? How about if we add in our cad yellow? Let's try that, which I think is this color I've got right here. I think that's a yellow ochre. So I'm going to put some more of my cad yellow in here. Actually, this might be a mix of cad yellow and lemon yellow. That's fine. I don't want it to be too bright. And going with more of a wash to begin with, but look at how pretty that's kind of blending together there. And then I'll just do a little square here. And ooh, I'm getting a blend right here too, which I'm totally digging, you guys. I want these all to blend a little bit just so I can kind of play. So there you go. Really abstract-y. Maybe just add the tiniest bit of that orange right there and let it blend in. It's going to go where the water is, so it's going to naturally go into my yellow here. And then let's do another yellow sienna. Isn't this fun? Put a little bit more in there. I just love this yellow sienna. I think it's so warm and pretty. How about if we do like that? Ooh, and look at that blend. So I'm really just playing. I'm going to discover some things in here because I'm not limiting myself to anything. I'm just really playing with these colors. Maybe dab in a bit. Look how pretty that is. This can be really relaxing at night too for me. I'm going to tap in a little bit more. Okay. And I want kind of these cauliflower effects. I want some different things going on. So now let's go right here. How about if we pop in some of that reddish colors we had? Let's see, which one was that? I think I'll try that one, which is right there. I'll list these colors for you, but I'm really just working kind of with my colors in my color palette and just what I'm drawn to. So definitely use your colors. And I'm going to tap into here because I want that little spread. Let's just go all the way across. I'm doing this very intuitively. Maybe add in some water there. You could do dry brush. You could really do just about whatever you want. Then tap in some darker colors using the point of my brush there. And I want these spreads and blends and bleeds. I think that's so pretty. I think I'm actually even going to carry this up into here. Let's see what those two colors look like. I don't think I've ever really blended yellow sienna and a red together. There we go. I'm going to pick up a tiny bit more of that red. But what I'm loving that I'm seeing right now is this yellow sienna is just blending right in. I like that. I'm going to tap in a little bit more here too. Just really playing with these and seeing what they do together. How about, I feel like we need some orange down here. So let's go back to our yellow orange. And don't want it too dark because we can always darken it. And, ooh, look at that. Let's make a square. Loving that, of course. They're an analogous colors, so they're next to each other on the color wheel, so they're going to be very harmonious. Let's just tap in a little here and there. But loving that little blend. Look at this blend here. So this is a fantastic, to me, fun way for me to just play with colors at night. I can even add in a little drop of water and let that kind of do its thing. Maybe I want to encourage this. So I'll put that there because it's going to go where the water is. Okay, and now maybe a yellow over here. So I'm really kind of allowing my intuition to say, yeah, I think this could be pretty over there. Ooh, see, look at that. I'm just touching into that red and letting it spread into it and mix. So pretty. And many times when I do this type of play and experiment, I really can get some fun colors and mixes that maybe were a little bit of an accident or not intentional anyway. And I love the way they will blend. So let's keep going. I feel like we need some of that Prussian blue. Let's try that. I think this is Prussian blue here. That might be a Payne's gray, actually. Okay, I'm going to be careful with this one because that Prussian blue can be really dark. So let's go into here and just touch corners. And pull that down. So this is also a great way to practice your washes. Remember, for beginners, I always suggest damp and damp. Now, just a note too, because I have this blue here, I feel like I need some blue up there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. maybe right here. And that's going to bleed. Now, keeping in mind when you do this, when I'm doing this, let me grab my color wheel in a second here. There we go. And I'm trying to kind of work with some different values too. Let me grab my color wheel, 1 second. Where's my color wheel? Well, I've got my tiny color wheel here. So what I just did here was kind of a dark blue with some orange. Now, keeping in mind when you go contrasting colors, it's not going to be so harmonic and flow, and also mixing with the orange, it's going to tend to mix a little bit grayer or duller. So, you know, I might not like that mix so much. This yellow sienna also has oranges in it, so it's going to turn more of a shadowy color. But that's okay. That's the point of experimenting like this. I kind of knew what I was doing there. But when I mixed it with the red, it created a purple, because red and blue are purple. So let's go in here. I feel like I want to do this yellow sienna there too. And you know, feel free to speed this up if you like. Let's see. Let's do... Now that is basically dry, so it's not going to blend with that, which is fine. But I'm getting more and more practice with washes here. So I haven't got any puddling. I've just got a nice wash. And then I'm going to dab in a little bit more color on the edges, like this. Just using the tip of my brush to get some of those really pretty blends. I like that. Okay. And then, so I'm really not liking that a whole lot, but you know what? It's totally cool. I'm debating if I should add in some green, but I think that might be a little too much. I'm going to kind of stick with these. So what I can do here is go into my cad orange, because this was a yellow orange, and let's add in, let's see, what about up, well, that's still wet, so I don't want to touch that. Maybe right here. And I'm using a darker value. On purpose, because I wanted to have the orange in it, but at the same time, I want a little bit more interest. So look at that, using these same colors, but I can create a little bit different look. And then let's just go here and do the same thing. There we go, create that wash back and forth. So I kind of like having some washy, really interesting squares, and then some just flat washes. There we go. Now let's spread some of that red around. So I'm going to grab a little of that. And let's create one right here. And I'm actually going to overlap it with that blue, kind of as an experiment. There we go. And we'll get to see what kind of color that creates. So this little edge there created like a purple. I'm going to add in some water here, get this to spread. And there you go. I think that's kind of fun. I feel like I want a red over here too. So let's go back into that red. Add a little bit of water. Thinking about how I'm leading my eye. So let's actually, how fun to mix some of that red with that orange. Let's see if it will spread in there. Like that. There we go. So again, because this is drier, it's not spreading in there. And this, because I use so much pigment, it's really not spreading in there a whole lot because it's not wetter than this is. And paints go where wetness is. So if I get it a little bit wetter, that water is going to travel, push against to where it's going to stop. Now, if I wanted to blend those, I could take a damp brush and do this and kind of mix them together. So just playing with all of this and seeing what we get. I think that's really pretty. And then we're going to fill in some of these white spaces. I'm thinking I want that Prussian blue here, but I want to make sure that's dry. So I've got 1, 2, I'll put one here, and I feel like I want one down here. So let's get a little of that Prussian blue in here. I think that one is Payne's Gray. And I want to lighten that up and put it right here. There we go. So where it's mixing with that red, by the way, it's turning just a very light shade of purple. And again, that's what's really fun about these. Tap in. Because you can really play. And then over here, I feel like we might need some yellow. Painting very intuitively. Right here. There we go. Tap in a tiny bit. Maybe tap in here. And then I might even lift some there just to get some interest. Could even lift some there. And then maybe down here, some more of that orange. I don't want to get the orange with the blue because, again, those are opposites, so it might turn kind of muddy, and we don't want that. Or you may, but that's not what I want. So I'm not going to join that with next to that blue. Rinse my brush. So I can get a very washy look here, and I'll add in some here on the edges. There we go, just for some interest. And then let's see if this is dry. We can go in there and add some of that blue. So I'm going to make one large blue stripe here. even going to make it an odd shape. I'm going to stay away from that orange again. So you'll notice again where I'm glazing over that yellow, it's turning green, which is really cool. Where it's glazing over the red, it's turning like a purple. And that's really the fun and purpose of playing like this, is you're going to get some nice mixes and interesting things to look at. So let's see, what color should we use there? I feel like those of you watching are telling me what color, and I just can't hear you. I think I'm going to go for a yellow. So let's do our yellow. And maybe I'll even add in the darker yellow. So like a gradiated wash. So down here, I'm going to make it darker. And then as it goes up, it's lighter, just for some interest. And then we've got some spaces in here. I think this would be pretty with that deeper or darker value of that yellow. Or maybe we should go really, really light. Let's go light first, because we can always go darker. That's pretty. I like that. Now I feel like we need some yellow down here in this corner. And yellow always feels like a really neutral. It isn't a neutral because it's very saturated. It's very bright, like this lemon yellow. But in this color palette I'm playing with, it mixes well with almost every color I've got in here. I'm going to pick up some and just tap in some darker values. Like that. And let's see what other colors. So this is very intuitive. We'll fill in this color with maybe that dark orange. Right here, I feel like to keep that zigzag kind of composition, I feel like I want to do that blue again. So, and because these are all that way, I feel like this one needs to be like a rectangle, and I'm going to let it join in with that yellow. There we go. Rinse my brush a bit. Loving the point on this brush because I can really get a nice line here, and look at how it mixed with the yellow. So pretty, right? Really interesting. And almost feel like we need a red here, so zig zag zig zag. So I'm going to add in that red right there. And it can mix with all the surrounding colors. It can make purple there, can make a light orange there. Rinse my brush a bit. And there you go. We're getting that bleeding, that blending. So we're about done here. I feel like I don't want a red here because I'm kind of liking the pull. I feel like I want a yellow, so zig, zag, zig. So I think I want to add a yellow up in there. There we go. And I'm purposefully making it a little more vibrant color. There we go. And maybe even ending this over here with a blue. and maybe yellow at the top here. Yellow or a light, ooh, a light orange might be pretty. So I'm gonna do a light orange. I gotta try not to get my palm sitting in my paint. Rinse my brush. There we go. And I wasn't so worried about it with the blue now because it's quite dry. Now, see this interesting look here? I could take a damp brush and kind of blend it out, but you really don't have to. You could leave it just as it is. That red and that orange right here. Just a lightly damp brush. And then the red and the yellow. And you might get some blooms here. So that really blends. Look how pretty. It's almost pretty with these little white spots, isn't it? But let's see here. Let's balance it out. I feel like this might need that darker orange. So I'm going to go with the cad orange here. Even though there's an orange next to it, I'm going to make it a different value. And I don't want to touch this blue, because I don't want that muddy color. Yeah, I like that. And then maybe blue up here to kind of keep the eye moving. So look at how fun these are. I hope you'll give them a try. I love seeing how colors interact with each other and these different washes. And although this is a practice, you could really frame this, and I think it would be quite nice. Let's go a dark blue right next to this. So they're similar colors, but I'm going a darker value. Again, great practice in creating that wash. And practicing saturations, which is that brightness of your colors. Really interesting, just because I'm using a darker color. I think I might even darken that one up. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna wash and rinse my brush and let that spread a little. Yeah, I quite like that. I might even add a dark spot here. Like that. And it creates a little bit more interest, I think. Maybe darken that a little bit. I've kind of played with that a few times here. Or I feel like, no, I think I'll go here. I'm paying attention to where my eye is landing here, if you notice that, and where my eye's being pulled. Okay, so once we did that, I'm going to give this a quick little dry with my heat gun. Again, you can fast forward if this is not your thing here. And then I'm going to work with my Ohuhu marker. But you could use color pencils, you could use whatever you want, even watercolor pencils. Let's see, is this dry? I think this is pretty dry. Okay. let's see, I'm going to use, these are those fine liners by Ohuhu. I really like them because they give you a lot of different choices. I think I'll use the 0.5. And I'm going to go in and let's just draw some designs. So here, I'm just going to do some lines. And you may want to stop just exactly where I was, because right now I'm really just playing. I don't have anything in particular in my mind. Just playing to add some interest. Maybe some dots. I'm doing little kind of like fish scales here. Just fun, interesting things. Like that. You could do some more diagonal lines. I am trying to be a bit aware of the direction these lines are pointing. So you know where you're leading your viewer's eye. So these are going that way, these are going that way. Let's do some little swirls. I'm totally making this up on the fly, guys, so whenever I do this, it's like, wow, I hope this turns out. I wasn't sure what I was even really going to do on this one because it's, my point here is, you know, play and see what comes out, really, and let your creativity kind of guide you in your colors. Do some the other way. You could do polka dots. So there you go. I'm going to probably keep playing with this, but I hope this gave you some ideas and fun things to think about in order to discover color mixes and practice washes and glazes. Maybe even do a little flower here. Since this one is going out, I feel like I want to guide my viewers back in. So these are some little flower petals. Like that. So there you go. I hope you give this a try. I love this Meeden 100% cotton paper, these pads, especially for something like this because it's all glued down on the edges, and then I'm just going to use my little, probably a credit card or something, to slip in the side and open it up. So there you go. Happy painting, happy creativity, and thank you for being here.